New SPIRITBOX Rotoscope.
My body is ready.
All right, let's see what's up. All right, already going for a more kind of like poppy electronic angle here. Interested. Ooh, that was kind of it's very like 90s electronic dance music, which I love. I miss that soundtrack era. Okay. This is kind of fun. Reminds me a little bit of like Poppy or something like that. Already off to a decent start because I want them to lean more in a like unique direction as opposed to the more generic djenting. Good beat, catchy. It's got me bobbing my head for sure. Always great production quality on the music video. Can never take that away from them. Going into the chorus, I'm kind of curious. I feel like it's losing a little bit of energy already, but we'll see. We'll see. A little more rock and roll this time. I hesitate to say butt rocky because it's not really, but it's a little bit instrumentally wise in that direction, which again it's interesting, but see how it pans out. Ooh. I like that little backing electronic synth stuff that adds a little bit of flavor to it. I'm really digging that synth. Cool visuals too, as always. Even when they put out a song that's just okay, the video is usually visually intriguing. And cool, back to the beat here. Yeah, it started to pick up a little bit towards the end of that section. I was a little miffed in the beginning, but this will be interesting for re-listens. Oh, and I didn't say my usual intro that I always pause and jump around for copyright reasons. Gotta stick with fair use here. Ooh, a little smudge in the hands on the screen here. A little break in the fourth wall, maybe. It's catchy, but Courtney continues to be kind of overall the most interesting thing about this band. If you didn't catch my review on the main channel, I did talk about Eternal Blue, and there are certain songs I absolutely love, namely Holy Roller, as far as the heavy songs go, and then Secret Garden in terms of the softer stuff. And both of those, I think, have, especially Secret Garden has some really interesting guitar work on it. And I just feel like that's sort of their weaker stuff, really. I think the singles pre-Eternal Blue were actually more interesting. And I'm seeing a little bit of a loss in kind of the overall instrumentation and songwriting, which really pulled Eternal Blue down for me. I re-listened to it again recently, and I actually kind of like maybe even lower my grade a little bit. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10 album. I think it's a little bit overrated, but I'm rooting for these guys because, oh, here we go. Here's the harsh stuff. Courtney got great harsh vocals along with the clean vocals too. Easily my favorite part of this band. I Wrestled a Bear once because I think that combined her vocal talents with more intriguing instrumentation, but that's just me. You can let me know down in the comments if you feel differently. A little harmonic. Back into the chorus. Yeah, I can get down with this. It's a fun little track. I'm not overly enthusiastic about it, but it's fun. It'll be a good like driving song, I think. So again, very generic dun dun dun, but that synth over it, that's what makes it kind of fun. Courtney's clean vocals too are interesting on this one, in that she is going for more of that like wispy kind of like, you know, pop vocal, electronic pop. It also like is bringing to mind things like Bjork, even though she doesn't sound anything like Bjork, but just something more in that style. A little bit of that early 2000s style again too. Like I could see this being on the radio with something like Filter or something like that too. They're broadening out a little bit here. This is kind of Deftones-y section. Ooh, like that vocal melody. Cool change in visuals from the stark white to this red sunset background too. Ooh, reverse golden tears. Yeah, that little echoey part too, very pop-like, which I'm totally not against. I could see some people potentially tearing this track to pieces for the pop elements, but that's actually probably my favorite part of it, at least on the vocal side. A little bit of a breakdown here. Bit of a head bobber here. I can appreciate that. Simple but effective. I'm always a sucker for when they cut out the instrumentation for a little mini vocal line. That's good stuff. Yeah, this almost like, it's more like club music. I think that chorus is going to get stuck in my head. That very kind of smooth. I like how they've mixed in the harsh vocals too. Like there's not as much of them, but they're more explosive as a result of the dynamics and the fact like you're not even really sure first listen whether or not there's going to be any harsh vocals. So when they pop in, they hit all the harder. Also, second video in a row with a golden shower. This time of the statue. In reverse, no less. That's kind of fun. That was also a very poppy-esque outro. So yeah, that was SPIRITBOX with Rotoscope, and it's interesting. Again, I'll be curious to see what people's reactions are to it, because I could see some people maybe not liking this direction, but I kind of invite it because, once more, I think that the gent stuff is pretty played. There's a few bands out there that really know how to kind of harness that sound and sort of spin it into something new, but I think most people, SPIRITBOX included, kind of just keep doing the same thing with it. So I'll be interested to hear where this goes from here. But turning to my scales, in terms of enjoyability, give it a solid 8. I think that feels about right. I was having a good time. I think it's catchy. I don't think it's like fantastic. I don't feel like this is like, yes, like new best song of the year, anything close to that. I don't even think I like it quite as much as I did like that last In Flames and Lamb of God single. I feel like those kind of had a more initial punch to it. But again, you know, with repeat listens, it could be something that grows on me a bit more. In terms of musicianship, it's harder to rate here because it is very simplistic, but that is kind of like what it's going for with that poppier sound and that more kind of like club electronic vibe to it. But I will say, like, if we're just rating it within terms of SPIRITBOX musicianship, and these are some talented musicians, don't get me wrong on that, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8, really. I think the songwriting's pretty solid. I think especially like the way the vocal lines are written and the way that all of the different elements come together. Again, those like synth lines coming in are really effectively placed. And again, how they're bringing in the harsh vocals is kind of a surprise. The songwriting, I think, kind of bumps it up more closer to an 8 than a 7, but it's sort of in that realm. And then in terms of innovation, I'd say for them, this is kind of like an 8. I could kind of bump them past a C for that because it's different from really anything else I've heard from them so far, but in the broader realm of music, I've definitely heard plenty of songs like this. So again, kind of like between a 7 and 8 for that too. So we're looking at like 8s across the board, but maybe a little bit lower there. So give it like a B minus for my first impression. Again, it's not entirely fair to grade something just based, but that's what these gradings are on this channel. It's just purely first impression, unless it's something that I've listened to a few times and then come and do an extra review on it. But you can let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the song? What's your favorite Spiritbox song? And then check out my main channel. You can even check out the review I did of Eternal Blue if you haven't heard that. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.